and welcome to Tools to Create a Better Life with myself, Glenyce Hughes. Thank you so much for listening in or watching, however it is that you are here with me right now. I am so incredibly grateful for you. Oh my goodness. So I am in our yard here on our acreage just outside of Sherwood Park, Alberta, Canada, and it might look a little bit hazy to you, and it is actually. It's smoky from the forest fires, which are nowhere near us at all, and yet the smoke travels great distances. I wonder what else is possible that we have never even considered. So there we go. All right, what are we going to talk about? My 3 unusual tools to change your body. So if you're new here, welcome. I'm so grateful you're here. You may not know then that I have been changing my body a lot over the past few years. The first couple of years was all about getting into the energy of movement and moving my body. And for a long time, I was seeing a personal trainer. And then I started actually changing my body shape and choosing different eating ways, styles, just really communing with my body, being present with my body, listening to my body. And there's just been so much change. I'm so incredibly grateful. Now, I've done a lot of shows on different tools that I've used. One that I've done that you may not know about and you may be interested in if this is your thing, is I did a private podcast, which is free. You just need to opt in to receive the link to listen in. It is all about a 5-day fast that I did. So I've been doing a 5-day fast that I believe was my 3rd or my 4th one. Don't recall now. And what I did was I recorded a podcast about it each day of the fast so that people kind of were on the journey with me. And so there'll be a link somewhere to opt in for that. If you can't find it, just reach out to me and I'll get you the link. And so these are unusual tools. These are ones that I probably don't speak about as much. My number one unusual tool to change your body is an interesting phrase. So let me say it and then I will explain it. I don't want to be skinny anymore. 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 Yeah, I know it sounds weird, right? Now here's the reasoning behind it. The word want actually means to lack. Yeah. So guess what I'm saying? I don't lack to be skinny anymore. Yes. Now, here's the thing with the changes that I've been doing with my body. It actually isn't about being skinny. It really isn't. These changes, yes, would I and my body like the body to continue to get smaller? Yes, absolutely. And it's not about being skinny. However, that phrase, I don't want to be skinny anymore, matches the energy for me. And it was actually given to me by Gary Douglas, who is the founder of Access Consciousness, which are where many of the tools that I share come from. And I was in a class and I asked him about the extra weight that I had, and it was just one of the tools that he gave me that took me many years to actually start using. But anyway, that's a story for another day. And it is one of the unusual tools. Now, it works for me in a couple ways. One, it gives me something to play with when I'm not choosing ease with the change. So what does that mean? It's when my head is going, this isn't working fast enough, I'd like it to be different, why, blah, 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 all that distraction, all that insanity, all that does is creates more of it. So this is a great tool for me just to have in a sense in my back pocket. So when I'm in that insanity, I've got somewhere else that I can go. I can choose, notice the word, I can choose to go to, I don't want to be skinny anymore. I don't want to be skinny anymore. I don't want to be skinny anymore. And it is such a light energy when I say it. And it's because that's actually what is true. There is an energy of true with that gifts that lightness. In foundation classes, which I have a couple online coming up, depending on when you're listening to this, I've got one in August of 2021 and also in September of 2021. Those are both online. Again, we're still able to do online classes, and Access Consciousness just keeps checking in. Mainly it's around travel. Once travel opens up more and more, then that will stop being a possibility. But for now, we still can. So join me, #GetYourButtToFoundation. There's so many tools in the foundation manual, so much magic in attending a class, whether it's in person or online. #GetYourButtToFoundation. So in foundation, the way that we use this tool, that we talk about it often, is I don't want more, well, I don't want money. 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 Which of course is saying I don't lack money, which is true again, my sweet friends. It's true again. So this is just one of the tools that I've been using that is unusual, and just to have there as something to go back to refer to check in with, to give your insanity mind something to play with, to change it up. Now, another unusual tool that I use, and this one I have talked about forever and I will continue talking about forever, it is the interesting point of view tool. But I want to talk about how I use it, in that it isn't like it's different than how you would normally use it. But the unusual piece is that I pay really, 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 really good attention to my thoughts and to the words that I'm speaking. In fact, if you're a friend of mine or you've been in a class with me, you might have heard me start saying something and then abruptly stop. The moment that I can perceive there's a lie there, I stop. And maybe not as much with just regular people who know nothing about what I'm doing, and definitely with people who do know what's going on, because there's so much ease. Now, if I'm with somebody who doesn't get it, maybe, I don't know, let's say I've been seeing a chiropractor, but she's amazing, so she would get it. Let's just say I'm talking to a doctor or something, this reality doctor, and they, and I start saying something, then I may not stop what I'm saying, but in my head, I will say, interesting point of view. I have this point of view. And so I am willing to be so much more present than I've ever been willing to be before, so that I catch myself with what I'm saying. In fact, I was recently at my oldest niece got married this summer. It was so beautiful. Oh my gosh. And I have to say, honestly, guys, I'm not a big wedding person. Like, that's just not a thing for me. Of course I go, and I don't mean like I hate them. That's not it. It's just not a big thing for me. This was so beautiful. It was so her. I'm not sure that I've ever seen a wedding so much the person. Like, it so matched her. And I don't know him all that well, so maybe it matched him too. I'm not sure, but it definitely matched her. Anyway, while I was there and, having different eating schedules and definitely eating other things, and I was also having some drinks and all the things, what I started really recognizing was that I was projecting these points of views that, because it was different than what I had been choosing, it was going to cause weight gain. And it was interesting because when I would catch myself in that, and it probably took me a while, it probably occurred a few times before I went, wait, what is it? Like in that statement of, oh boy, I'm gonna have to fast longer when I get home because of these drinks or something like that. What am I asking for? Yeah, for the weight gain. What an interesting choice. And so then what I would do every time I would catch myself, so probably not every time, but every time I would catch myself with those interesting points of views, is I would stop and I would check in. I'd say, hey, body, do you require to, so in this example, do you require to gain weight based on these drinks? And she would go, no. And then I would be like, okay. And then I would just, interesting point of view, I have this point of view. Drinking makes me gain weight. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view. Interesting point of view. I have this point of view over and over and over. And came home lighter than when I left. So truly, if you're willing to catch those points of views, if you're willing to clear those points of views, man, you can create anything. Now, here's something I want to talk about, my sweet friends. In case you're cute like me, when I very first started studying the tools of access consciousness, one of the things you learn about in a bars class, a foundation class, any of the classes you go to, is that a lot of times when we're doing that sort of energetic processing, that energetic work we might want to call it, our bodies can require, oh, can you see hubby in the background? He's watering his lawn. Thankfully, he's dressed. He just came home. He doesn't know that I'm out here. Or maybe, anyway, maybe that's why he's dressed. He doesn't often dress. So anyway, if you're just listening to the podcast, I apologize for talking about what's on the video. I know that sometimes can be frustrating, but he's there. So I must talk about him. Anyway, so when I first started going to access classes, and there was all of this salt, sugar, and got a little bug in my hair. Salt and sugar, basically. There was a lot of chips and there was a lot of chocolate. Well, the guy just wants to stick around. Stuff like that. Now, I'd spent the majority of my life calling those bad food or junk food. So now I start going to access classes in 2011, and suddenly what was deemed as junk food was now okay. It was now the thing to eat. And then what I did was I overdid that, and I went into, well, I have to have it. My body has to have it. And there wasn't actually a question to my body about what it desired. So when I talk about asking my body, at this point, I am so willing to ask my body, not even just ask it, but actually hear it. He's waving now. But actually hear it. So if she would have said, yes, she would gain weight from those drinks, then that would have been a different conversation. When I got a no, then I knew it was just for me to clear. So back in 2011, a lot of times I was not asking her. I was just justifying the eating of things that she may not have desired. So I wanted to talk about that because I did that for a few years. I'd spent so many years making that food wrong that when there was a possibility to make it right and eat it whenever I felt like I wanted it, it just made it was just the same energy, but completely on the other side of it. And there's not a right or a wrong way. There's not good food or bad food or junk food or healthy food. There's food that your body would like in that 10 seconds, if it would. And there's food that your body wouldn't like. So it's not that your body will never ask for potato chips or a chocolate bar or alcohol or whatever it may be. It's just, you just want to have communion with it. You want to be asking it. And for me, I really had to look at when it was a no from my body and I still wanted it. Like, what was that? Like, that was a big piece for me to really, really get present with. Because what is that? It's like if you had a child and the child was saying no to the carrot sticks you were trying to give it, and you decided it should have it. Like, what is that? if it's saying no, and now different if like I know with children it can be different, but really for me, that was something I had to get present with and look at and really start choosing a different possibility with my body. And so there we go. So that is number 2 of the unusual tools. So we had I don't want to be skinny anymore. Number 2 is all about ensuring that you are catching yourself in those lies. Because guys, those lies, man, you're, as Dr. Dane here, who's the co-founder of Access Consciousness, your point of view creates your reality. So if your point of view is that when you eat French fries, you will get fat, and then you eat French fries, guess what? You're right. Or your point of view is the only thing you can eat is salad or you'll get fat. what are you telling your body to do if you eat something other than salad? Yeah. And a lot of these points of views, for me personally, I mean, I had read so many books, I'd done so many diets, I had so much information that those were all really interesting points of views. All of that is, and I'm not saying that those people who wrote those books or created those diets are wrong. They're not right. That's just the information that they have, and then it's up to us to choose what actually works for us and to be willing to hear the feather touches from our sweet bodies of what it desires, what it's asking for, without the conclusion. I often talk about a gal contacting me. This was a few years ago now, and she'd started I believe it was a 30-day juice cleanse or something like that. And she was on day 7, and she was so traumatized because it just wasn't working anymore. And it was so hard. And it went from such ease and joy and glory to such pain and suffering, and she was forcing, and she was feeling sick, and she had all this stuff going on, and she was contacting me to say, hey, what can I do about this, because this is, I still have all these days left. So I just said to her, so truth, does your body require the rest of the days? And as soon as I asked that, she's like, no. Okay, you're done then. Like, instead of going, well, this is the form and the structure of this program, it's like, show me body. And your body might bring you a 30-day wow, easy for me to say, program that works for 30 days. And it might only be what it is asking for 3 days or 13 days or 6 minutes. Who the heck knows? But if we don't have any judgment of it and we're willing to clear those points of views, then what is actually possible? What magic could we actually create if we were out of that insanity? So, unusual tool number 3, and I actually did a radio show about this a number of years ago. It is, the radio show I think is called The Tool of All Tools to Stop Judgment, I believe is what it's called. We'll put a link to it somewhere. It's from many years ago. It's all about money, that radio show, but this tool is used for everything. And I personally use this tool all the time. So few people do. Most people run away from it. They hate it. They resist it. They have all these interesting points of views about it. Yeah. Guys, this tool can change everything. If you are looking to make a change with your body, this tool can be the magic. And I also want to invite you guys, because I happen to have these VIP days, it's called the VIP program on changing your body with your body. So you and I work very closely together throughout basically a month of changing whatever it is you're asking for with your body. We'll have a link somewhere. If you can't find it, let me know. I'll send you the link. Would love, love, love to play with you and your sweet body. Anyway, so this tool is called the meaning process. Now, if you have heard me talk about this before, or you've heard this tool before, why don't you pretend right now that you've never heard me speak of this? Why don't you pretend this is brand new? And if it is brand new to you, then cool. Just be present with it. Don't go into resistance just yet. So, when we have something in our life that we are judging, most people with their body, what we do is we stick that thing, whatever the judgment is, we hold it in place with the solidity of that judgment. So if you've decided that your body, let's say your thighs are too big, let's say that's the judgment. And every time you look in the mirror, oh, my thighs are too big. Or every time you put your pants on, my thighs are too big. Or every time you notice somebody looking at you, oh my God, they're looking at my too big thighs. So that all you're doing with that is you're asking for big thighs. That's all that judgment is doing, is continuously solidifying that to be your reality, right? Your point of view creates your reality. So in order to get out of that, in order to change that, you've got to stop the judgment. And this tool is the one that I have used since I learned it back in 2011, maybe 2012. I'm not actually sure if I learned it in my first foundation class or not. Might have. don't recall, but I learned it many, many years ago, and I use it at least once a week, if not once a day, on all sorts of things. It doesn't have to be just body related. It can be on money stuff. It can be on business stuff. It can be on relationship stuff. It can be on forest fires, like whatever it is that we are judging is what we're going to create more of. So the reason that most people don't use this is because it's kind of weird. So there's 4 different questions, okay? And I'm going to take you through them right now about your body, and I'm just going to keep it open because I know not everybody judges big thighs. So I'm just going to keep it to your body because possibly you've got a judgment or 2 of your body. And I'm going to run through them once, and what I want you to do is just be aware of what comes up. Now, there might not actually be words, there might just be an energy to what comes up, and that's okay. We don't need words, we're just going to clear what comes up. So, truth. What does your body mean to you? Everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, all 9, POD, POC, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So that is the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement. You can go to theclearingstatement.com for more about how it works. Truth, what do you mean to your body? Everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate it all times a godzillion? Right, wrong, good, bad, all 9, POD, POC, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Truth, what does sex with your body mean to you? Everything that is, we destroy and uncreate it all times a godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, all 9, POD, POC, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Truth, what does sex with you mean to your body? Everything that is, we destroy and uncreate it all times a godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, all 9, POD, POC, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So, the sex questions. What the hell am I talking about? I know, right? It's crazy. And it's not actually. When we're using the word sex, we're actually asking, what does receiving, so in this case, using your body, what does receiving from your body mean to you? So go back to the energy or the word you got. For most people, it's disgusting, it's awful, it's horrible, it's dull, it's boring. Like there's all sorts of weird energies that come up with that, which is really interesting, right? Like really freaking interesting. And then what does sex with you mean to your body is what you have judgments of that your body is willing to receive from you. So it clears both ways, but in order to actually keep the energy of this, you don't want to change those words from sex to receiving. I know you want to. I know most people do, but I'm going to highly recommend you don't. If you truly desire to change the judgment of whatever it is you're doing, keep those the questions. Truth, what does blank mean to me? Truth, what do I mean to blank? Truth, what does sex with blank mean to me? Truth, what does sex with me mean to blank? And then run it over and over. I just ran through them once, guys, just for the sake of this show, but I would recommend at least 10 times, if not more. What you're looking to get to is where there's no energy whatsoever. So you're not looking to get to positive words from negative words. That's not it. You're just looking to get to where there's no energy. You actually get bored with the questions because there's nothing left there. That's when you know it's complete for now. You may require to do it again. You may. And I know I have many, many times on all sorts of different things. In fact, years and years ago, back in, I believe it was 2013, maybe 2012, doesn't matter. No, actually 2013 for sure, because I started my radio show in 2013. And I was going to interview Gary Douglas, again, founder of Access Consciousness, about bodies back in 2013. So we'll put that show link somewhere too. And I was talking to a friend of mine and I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm going to talk to Gary. And what if I can't, woo, and I had all this like fangirl energy about it. And she said to me, Glenyce, you better do the meaning process on him before you do that show. Otherwise, it's going to be a really horrible show to listen to. And she was being very kind, believe me, because it would have been, if I would have been that like, oh my gosh, he's so amazing and so much better than me and I'm nothing, like that would not have been fun to listen to at all. And I'm so grateful that I had talked to her about it and that she had suggested that and that I actually did it, because it changed everything for me. And I've done it multiple times on Gary and Dane when I've taken classes with them and such, so that it's not this kind of guru energy or they know more or anything, because they're certainly not asking that. It's an interesting choice on my part. So you can do it on anything or anyone. And I know, again, I know it's weird, guys, but honestly, if you are looking to change something, the meaning process will gift you that. Truly. I know. I could talk about it forever. I remember years ago, and I'd started using it, like I say, back early in my days to using these tools, and I continued. And then one day I heard somebody ask Gary why he had taken it out of the manual. And he said, because you fuckers won't use it. And I was like, I use it. I love it. I use it in my foundation classes. In fact, the pool party foundation we just had in July, I'm not sure how many times we ran it on different things just to get out of the judgment. Because once you're out of the judgment, that's where the magic is, my sweet friends. That's where the magic is. So I want to add a bonus tool here, guys. As I'm talking, I was thinking about one that I still use a lot, and it's the I wonder tool, where you just wonder. Like, I wonder what it would be like to feel really, really comfortable in my skin. I wonder what it would be like to run 5K with ease. I wonder what it would be like to run 10K with ease. I wonder what it would be like to be the magic that I be. I wonder. So I'm turning things into a question. So if I don't know, let's say I'm going out to do my run and I'm feeling like, oh man, I probably won't get very far. I probably won't do very well, blah, blah, blah. Then again, I'm present with that, or at least when I'm present with that and I'm aware that I'm choosing that, then I can stop. And I can turn it into I wonder. I wonder what it would be like to run farther and faster than I've ever ran before. Like, I wonder. And when I turn it into I wonder, it changes everything for me. And some people turn it into a what would it take question. Like, what would it take to run farther and faster than I've ever ran before? And that's totally cool, guys. It's totally, totally cool. I find for me personally, the I wonder works with, like, there's more space for me when I wonder rather than when I go to what would it take. For some reason, it engages my mind. So then I almost try to figure it out. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for this spaciousness, this I wonder, the asking, and then really allowing the universe to deliver it. Yeah, I wonder. Like, I wonder what it would be like. I wonder actually what it would be like. So I'm looking over here because this morning as I was sitting at the kitchen table, my little kitty Toddy started to growl. Yes, she is much more of a dog than she is a cat. And I looked outside and there was 2 moose standing just over there. And I wonder what it would be like for them to come back right away. Like, I wonder what that would be like. They were so majestic. I just love the beauty of moose. Now, I've never ran into one. I know a lot of people, when I talk about it, they go, oh, but if you never hit one, you know. So they're just so majestic. And these were young ones. I believe these were born this year, just for the size of them. Although they're huge, they're still very small for usual. And we have a family of moose that live around here. So we get to see them a couple times a year. Not all that often, but a couple times. So I just wonder what it would be like for them to come back. They don't even have to come back over there. They could come back over here. Like, how cool would that be? For them just to walk up and be on camera. Like, I wonder what that would be like. Yeah. So, my 3 unusual tools and the bonus. Number 1, I don't want to be skinny anymore. Number 2, catch the lies, catch the points of views. The minute that you are aware of it, clear it. Either interesting point of view, I have this point of view, or you can use the clearing statement if you prefer, whatever it takes, but just clear it in that moment. Number 3, the meaning process. Use that all the time, my sweet friends. And number 4 is the I wonder. I wonder what it would be like. I wonder. Yeah. So again, hashtag Get Your Butt Foundation. We've got a couple online ones coming up in the next couple months. And of course, I would love to play with you and your sweet body in the VIP program to changing your body with your body. Have a great week, sweet friends. I look forward to chatting again next week.